Welcome, NACSMA members. This is a continuation of our series of interviews with contact center professionals. Welcome, Shuping, England. Shuping, give us some insights on your new book that you just published.
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Stephen, for this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to this interview. Is that there are several key topics that I talk about in my book, such as how to balance the people and accountability, how to manage remote teams, learn about different leadership styles and strategies, change management, performance management, recruiting, as well as assertive communication. So all those concepts in this book are pretty easy to understand and grasp. I specifically include some real work examples to help understand those leadership concepts. So it is a very engaging book for modern leaders who really want the best, for the teams, business, and customers.
Perfect. So we know about producing results is very important in any business. How do you balance people and production in a contact center environment?
Yes. So yeah, we all know that in any business settings, right, producing results is extremely important. Otherwise, the business cannot sustain continuous growth without results, right? But oftentimes leaders just fail to balance the people and the production. What we really want is a leader who has the high caring and also high accountability for the team. They show high concern to the people that they lead, and at the same time, they hold them accountable. They are not afraid to address people when needed. They set up the high expectations for the team. I've seen different approaches that like leaders have high caring but it has low accountability, or they have low caring with high accountability. They're actually leaders like that, or low caring and low accountability. So those models have proven to be not working, unfortunately. Again, what we really want is a leader who really has the high caring for the people and can hold them accountable at the same time.
Perfect. So one of the things I found interesting in your book was the conversation about abundant mindset. Can you explain to us what abundant mindset encompasses?
Yes. So abundant mindset is when people believe, there's no limit to the potential and growth. They are confident to pursue what they really want to achieve in the personal and professional lives. They focus on the solutions instead of the problems. They believe there's more than one solution to the problem. It's kind of like the growth mindset, versus the fixed mindset. Growth mindset believes that if they don't know something, they can learn, they can find out, and they're willing to try new ideas, approaches until they make it work, right? So it's kind of the same concept here. Your potential and abilities don't have a cap. So don't put a cap on yourself, on your capabilities.
Oh, very interesting concept. So when it comes to employee recognition and motivation, you have a chapter in your book that talks about morale and the role of motivation and recognition as it relates to employee morale. So it sounds like abundant mindset kind of goes together with that concept. Is that correct?
Yes. So, managers or supervisors, really they must understand that not everyone is motivated by the same thing. Don't assume that, all employees are motivated by money. Maybe some are for sure, right? Some they're really motivated by money, but some are motivated by professional growth or maybe career development. Some are motivated by building, a sense of belonging or purpose. And some are motivated by maybe just setting up a high goal so they can really achieve the goal. So leaders or managers, supervisors really need to understand, get to know each of the team members and apply those motivations or recognitions accordingly. And again, if you apply it wrong, it's just not gonna get you what you want. So it's not gonna have the same effect that you would like to see.
So it sounds like the next step in that conversation is one of the chapters where you talk about high performance equals vision plus strategy plus grit. Can you kind of maybe elaborate on how that goes into the motivation recognition and abundant mindset?
Yes, definitely. So when we talk about high performance, first the team needs to know where the vision is or where the goals are, right? So and then they know what to shoot for. So just having the vision is not enough. As leaders, we must have the strategies in place. for execution, so the vision can become reality. So why grit is important for high performing teams? Because we all know that there's no guarantee of 100% success every single time when we execute a strategy or we try something. Because sometimes we fail, right? What matters here is that when failure happens, we fail forward. Meaning that we learn from the failure. We do not give up. We know that being determined and consistent is the key to success, right? That is why grit is important, and that's why those all connect to the abundant mindset, right? I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna try again until I succeed, right? So I do believe that with the grit, vision and strategies, there's no way that high performing teams cannot be achieved. That's what I believe.
So with that being said, in those different principles that you discussed in your book, it is really important for the team to be able to be successful, to have the right people on the team. So how, from a recruiting perspective, do you see focusing on the ability to achieve, to acquire those people with these three different principles that you talk about?
Yes. So having the right people on the team is very crucial to the success of the team, right? And having the right people starts with recruiting. We recruit people that not only can fit the culture, but can uplift the culture. We also want people who have the right attitude, who share the same vision and purpose in the team. After we recruit the right people, we must give them the proper training so they can be equipped with all the knowledge and resources to go on the next step. So there's a whole chapter in my book that I talk about the recruiting and then how to find the right talents for your team. Is definitely a great chapter that don't skip that.
So you talk in your book in one of the chapters about assertive communications and how critical it is in the business environment. Is there different levels of assertive communication skills, at an hourly and a middle management and upper management level? How do you see that?
Yes, it definitely. There are definitely several different levels of communication, and actually over the past many years, I have definitely seen so many, managers or supervisors who fail to communicate effectively and assertively with the teams. It's kind of mainly due to like a few factors, right? Either they're not courageous enough to deliver the message, especially if the message is going to be a tough one, and they don't want the team to get upset, or they don't want to, they just want to be liked, right? So that's why they're kind of more like a compromise, or being like a passive, right? That's what I want to use. And then they simply just don't know how to communicate as a leader. There's kind of a second scenario, such as if a difficult situation arises, they simply just don't know how to handle that, how to communicate with the team or even with the upper management. So the good thing here about assertive communication is that it can be learned or coached. Managers or supervisors will just need to get out of the comfort zone and practice those strategies that I talk about in the book. I have coached so many leaders in the past in this area, and then now they are great leaders. When it comes to communication, they are not afraid to deliver those tough messages anymore. They lead great teams, with a lot of respect and admiration from the team. It's really so great to see those leaders that they grew from the comfort zone. They made those transformational changes. And this is also exactly the reason why I want to see, I write this book. It is to make an impact on people's lives, right? Especially, professional leaders want to bring value to them, bring value to the community. So that's kind of the purpose of why I wrote this book also.
Very nice. So in summation, your book focuses on best practices in the contact center environment as it relates to the recruiting process, communication process, and the structuring of your organization to be successful. So the question is, what made you write this book?
Yes. The reason for writing this book is definitely to help more leaders, managers, and supervisors, to be more successful when it comes to leading contact centers and teams. And over the years, I have seen so many leaders who just struggle to lead. Not because they don't want to lead, it's because they don't know how to lead. It is the how. They don't have enough tools and resources to help them to become a better and a more effective leader. I'm just really hoping this book can bring value to them and guide them and help them really make an impact on the leadership journey. And that's kind of what made me to write this book.
Perfect. Well, Shuping, I really appreciate your time today. This has been a great conversation. I've learned so much about you and about your book that you've written. And I hope that the NACSMA members take a look at your book and learn a lot and develop their teams and their organization. Thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome, Stephen. I really appreciate the time and opportunity to serve and to share the knowledge. Yeah, I'll talk to you again soon.
Definitely.